in my past, so they listen to my songs. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Yeah, where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here?
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. Today, of course, Monday, the 2nd of December. And we're going to talk about what is currently going on with Bitcoin, what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, and of course, those important levels that we can, of course, be looking for trades at. So, if that does all sound interesting, please do smash that thumbs up button. Really helps me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to, of course, bring you this content. But enough of that. Let's jump into the charts and take a look at what is going on. So, of course, I haven't taken a trade in quite a few days now. Kind of just taken a bit of a step back. Let price do its thing, right? So, we understand that, the analysis hasn't been respected as it usually is. So for me, it's just a case of, okay, I accept that. Let's take a step back. Let's let price do its thing. Let's let price settle, which of course it's doing now. And then, of course, once we see those setups, okay, and we know that, price is kind of settled, right? We can, of course, look to take those trades again because, we're in such of course, it is amazing to be where we are. But in terms of like the trading aspect of it, it is kind of uncharted territory, right? Because of course it's price discovery, and there's no real levels up here that can be highly respected. So it's a little bit difficult to look for trades up here. And when you do finally get the trades, okay, maybe they're not going to be respected as well as they usually would, because of course what is happening up here, well, we're seeing a whole lot of FOMO up here, and that can really drive markets in directions that it doesn't usually go in for as long, right? You can see how huge these pumps have been, and this has all been caused by FOMO, right? This has all been caused by FOMO long trades, over leveraged, over exposed long trades. And at some point they are going to get wrecked. We understand that. Do we know when? Okay, absolutely not, right? But I would say at some point, okay, we are going to see a huge chunk of these long trades getting wrecked, okay? A huge chunk of them getting wrecked. So that is just something that we have to bear in mind, because this is something that happens all of the time, right? All of the time in these markets, we see people get wrecked. Okay, no matter where price has gone, no matter how many long trades have opened up or short trades have opened up, we see people get wrecked. Okay, it works both ways as well, right? So you can see, of course, we're very much in a bull market. Incredible amounts of long trades have opened up, right? These long trades at some point will get wrecked, exactly like the short trades get wrecked when we're in a bear market. Okay, it works exactly the same way, right? So of course, yes, at some point we can look for a big correction, and of course we'd love to take advantage of that. Okay, but it's okay, where can we find that big short trade to, of course, get into to, of course, take advantage of that. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a short trade first. It could be a long trade to take us up to a short trade to then, of course, see a big correction, right? But yeah, it doesn't mean a correction is coming. Okay, of course, a correction could be coming, a correction could be in the works, right? But of course, we're just looking for those high probability trade setups. And what I'm looking at this moment in time, okay, and what a lot of retail traders are going to be looking at is kind of this triangle pattern. I was looking at this with the team around lunchtime, and this is kind of what I would suspect retail traders are looking at here. Okay, and of course they're going to be looking for a potential break towards the upside, right? Because we're in a bull market, they're going to be expecting a break towards the upside. Okay, or we could come down. They could be looking for, of course, a bounce off of this level, or they could observe price breaking down, okay, and then of course expecting lower prices. That's another thing that they could be looking for. But initially, they could be looking for price to just range here, maybe break out there. That's kind of how I would, look at retail traders viewing this, okay, because retail traders are extremely bullish at this moment in time, and I guess as you should be, right? But retail traders are going to be looking for price if it is going to pull back down here to, of course, use this as support and look for this breakout. Okay, if we do see that breakout of what a retail trader is going to be looking to do, they're going to be looking to enter into huge long trades up here. Okay, and they're going to be looking for all-time high and much higher prices. Now that is a possibility that could happen. Okay, it's not something again I would ever trade. Okay, but we can use this to our advantage, right? And now because price has settled a little bit, right? The FOMO is, okay, it's still here, but it's not as extreme. Okay. Because we're seeing, the first biggest bit of consolidation that we've seen in, quite a long time, ever since we were consolidating all the way down here, right? Because ever since then, it's been pretty parabolic. Okay, so we're finally seeing that, that consolidation, which we can, of course, take advantage of. So now it's a case of, right, what's price going to do? I've got my key levels, right? I know what I want to trade, okay? And those key levels are, of course, the major low that we have down here, and of course this major high up here, right? And I love these two levels. The reason I love these two levels is because there's so much confluence around them. So if you are a regular watcher of the channel, you will of course know that we're looking at all-time high as a possible sign of weakness. We're looking for a short potentially off of all-time high. Okay, it's a case of, right, what's price going to do up here? We've got the confluence up there. We've got major pivot point. We've got all-time high. That's 2 bits of confluence in itself. We've got a naked point of control at 99,375. Okay, so that's something that's is really nice to see that close confluence with those levels. So it's a case of, right, is price going to come up here? Are we going to see some signs of weakness? But we see lots of long trades opening up. Price then starts to pull back, right? Trapping the traders up there, okay? And then, of course, what do we look for? We look for, right, that long squeeze, okay? So is that something that's going to happen up there? We don't know. All we can do is monitor what is going up. What is happening up here, right? Are we seeing lots of long trades open up on the move up? Are we seeing lots of long trades open up at the high? For then, of course, price just begins to pull back, telling us that there's a big player absorbing all of this. So we're going to be looking for some sort of failed auction, swing failure pattern up there. Okay, if that's what we see, right, of course, we'll look for that pullback and we'll look to, of course, short that before the pullback happens, right? So that's a possibility. And looking at that in terms of retail, okay, retail would be looking to long that. Okay, they'll be looking for that breakout. Of course, if we do get the short trade set up, we look for the pullback. Then what are we looking at there? Okay, we're looking at a fake out of that triangle, right? What does that mean? Okay, well, there's a high probability that we actually come down and we lose that support there, and we see a much bigger correction. Okay, so this is kind of a plan that I've got teed up. So it's just a case of what happens up here. If we see lots of long trades opening up here, but price continues to rise, right, just continues to go higher, then of course there's no short trade. Okay, you can continue to, of course, ride that move up, right? But it's only if we start to see that weakness. If we start to see that weakness, again, that's of course when I'll look to enter into that short trade. So that's the bullish to bearish case scenario. Okay, but we have a bearish to bullish case scenario. Okay, so we do have because it's a new month, right? We have a new naked point of control at 91,750. Okay, this is a very important naked point of control. Why? Because we have confluence around it, right? We have confluence around it. We have this VWAP from this low down here. Okay, we've got this really nice VWAP, which has been respected quite a lot already, right? And it's a case of, right, is price going to continue to respect that whilst also respecting that naked point of control that we have there, right? And what could we, of course, be looking at there, right? We could be looking at retail traders shorting because we're getting a breakdown of this triangle pattern, right? Price, of course, sees a rise. Okay, we form a fake out of the triangle. Okay, and then, of course, we're looking for the inverse of what we were looking for the short trade, right? We would look for price to come up to the top of the triangle, break out of the triangle, and see higher prices from there, potentially all-time high. Okay, and of course, if this happens first, of course, you can still tee up that short trade from all-time high. Okay, but this is something that I'm really interested in. Of course, we've got that VWAP coming in confluence with that naked point of control. Of course, we've then got the breakout of the triangle. We would expect lots of shorts to open up, and of course, one more thing that I would like to look for. Now, I did consider the option of a GP786, but it's not really tying in with that naked point of control on the VWAP as much as I would like it to. Okay, but if we take a look at the order flow, let's go on to a bit of a higher time frame. We can see that there is a possibility, right? A possibility that we can get absorption at that naked point of control and at that VWAP, right? There is a possibility that we get absorption there, and in my opinion, that's quite a bullish thing, right? It is quite a bullish thing because, of course, it's indicating to us that there are big players down here willing to buy, right? And we know that those bigger players are, the smart money. Okay, they know what they're doing in these markets. Okay, and the majority of the time, they are right. Okay, they are right because, well, I guess one indication is that these institutions have been around for a long, long time. They make a lot of money, and they're going to be around for much, much longer than you and I. Okay, so doing what they're doing isn't, of course, stupid at all. But at the same time, it's when we do see this absorption, which of course is big players buying. Okay, the majority of the time, what do we see? Okay, we see them play out. Right, we see them play out. Not every single time, but the majority of the time, right, they do play out. Okay, I would say at least like 75 to 80% of the time they are playing out. Okay, so it's a case of, right, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the absorption? Which it's a little bit, again, as I always say, it's a little bit too early to tell. But okay, you can kind of have a bit of a guess, right? And it is looking like we will get absorption, right? It's looking like absorption is kind of already occurring here. And then, of course, that confirmation is when we get that divergence initially, right? So it's a case of, are we seeing that coming into that naked point of control, into that VWAP? If we are, okay, and we're holding, of course, we still want to hold that support. Okay, if we're holding it, maybe we form that fake out of the the triangle low. Okay, then of course we can look for that long trade. We can look to, of course, take that up to higher prices. Okay, that's initially what I would be looking for. Now, this scenario here I prefer. Okay, there is another scenario where we come a little bit lower. Okay, and that scenario will be coming a little bit lower and taking out this previous low here. Okay, which I don't mind. Okay, I don't mind it, but okay, I would rather not do that. Okay, I would rather not do that. Okay, the reason why I'd rather not do that is because then, right, what are we losing? Okay, we're losing this very bullish structure that we're in. Okay, and we are starting to form bearish structure. Okay, which could be a sign of weakness, right? It could be a sign of weakness, right? So that's something that we do have to be aware of. Okay. But then you can look at it in another perspective and think, okay, right, is this another bull flag that we're going to be seeing, okay, for a potential breakout to of course, all-time high and surpass all-time high as well, right? The reason I say that, okay, is because, of course, this triangle that we're looking at here, let's just get rid of these for now. okay, that triangle that we're looking at here could in fact, right, turn into some sort of parallel channel, right, descending parallel channel. Of course, we can look at this possibly as a bull flag, right, and you can see how well respected this has been even before entering into it. Okay, again, I say this a lot. I don't really like diagonal levels, but when it comes to channels, okay, I really don't mind them. I think they're very, very useful. So this is again something that we can take into consideration as well. This would mean, of course, losing that naked point of control, okay, but this would line up with, of course, looking for this low to be taken out, of course, coming onto that channel low, okay, and then forming that failed auction or swing value pattern, trapped, lots of shorts opening up, trapped shorts down there, price rises, okay, and then we of course look for that short squeeze to take that up to the top of the channel, right? We either see a short trade up there for lower prices, or of course you break out and you see higher prices. Okay, that's the other scenario that we have. But like I said, I prefer to see the first scenario. Reason being is because, of course, you're losing that bullish structure. You're then forming bearish structure, which also could lead to a bigger pullback initially, right? So that's just something that you have to be aware of as well. But yeah, other than that, it's just a case of patience and okay, let's see what occurs, right? Of course, if we see what we want to see at that naked point of control, okay, at that at that anchored VWAP, then of course, right, we can look to take the trade from there. Okay, the absorption there, you can look to take it from there, right? But if you do not see what you want to see here, okay, or we come down and we just lose these levels, right, then it's a case of let's look towards the low, okay, and then let's see what happens down here, okay, because maybe you get the long trade from there. Okay, so it's a case of what's happening here, right? If it's not if it's not what we want to see, okay, we'll see what happens down here if we do go down there, okay. And it's the same with the short trade, right? If you come up here, it's a case of what's occurring up here, okay. If it's not what we want to see, okay, fine. We just continue higher and we look for something. We look for something at higher prices, okay. It's just a matter of patience now. I know it's been a while, okay, but we just got to be a little bit more patient. I like this here, okay. I really, really like this. I love the confluence that we've got down here. I love the confluence that we've got up here as well, okay. It seems like prices has settled. It seems like price is now consolidating a bit, which of course is very, very helpful for trades. So it's a case of patience. Let's wait for these levels, okay. Let's wait for these levels and let's see what occurs. It's patience, right? It's patience. But yeah, something that we do have to be very, very aware of is okay, we're very, very overextended right now. So yeah, a big pullback isn't something that can that's all that of a surprise, really. So that's just something we have to be aware of. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's something that we need to be aware of. Okay, and even if that's just a pullback to 80 before we go back up again, we'll see, right? But it's it's something that we just have to stay on our toes and stay a little bit wary about. I'd prefer to see us actually lose that triangle and then come up, okay, rather than coming up and then going down, because that's actually breaking out and then forming that fake out, in my opinion, is a bit more bearish than actually is a lot more bearish than actually breaking down and then fail auctioning that, okay. Because what we tend to do is, if you break out to one side like this and you fake out, you actually look for the breakout on the other side. That's kind of what tends to happen, right? It works both ways as well. So I'd rather see this play out, okay, than actually that play out, okay? Because I'd say that's a lot more bearish. I mean, they've got both of them have got their pros and cons, I guess, because if you're coming down like this and you take out the low, then you're forming that bearish structure. Yeah, but there's so many ways to look at it really, but it's more of a case of, right, what's going on at the level. Let's just look for the trade at the level. Look for a nice 1 to 2 stop loss entry. TP1, stop loss at entry. Let the rest of the trade ride. That's kind of the best way to do it really. Jamie Rogers, good to see you back, my friend. Good to see you here. Always helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Always helpful. Sorry, helpful as always, brother. Good to see you here. Thank you for that. Patience to be the motto for the channel. Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. It is got to be the motto of the channel. Because I mean, there's no point of FOMOing into a trade, right? Because you just know exactly how that's going to end. So yeah, matter of patience. We've got our key levels. We know what we want to see at those levels. So it's patience, the motto of the channel, right? But yeah, the stock market is doing really well, which is, we're not seeing Bitcoin really follow it. Again, they haven't been too closely correlated. The stock market is making new all-time highs. So they haven't been too correlated as it is. So yeah, nothing really to take off of the stock market, to be honest with you. And ETH is just kind of following with Bitcoin as well. But yeah, I think, in all honesty, I think that is everything. I mean, we've seen. So what's kind of happened today is we've seen a lot of shorts open up. We have seen a lot of shorts open up. Let's go to what we were looking at here. So we saw 5.8, 12 million, 11 million, 4.3, 27, 8.3, 1.1, 12 million here. So we've seen a huge amount of short trades opening up today. And on this rise here, we saw a lot of them getting wrecked. Okay, well, these shorts from earlier this morning did get wrecked not that long ago. So you can see here open interest decreasing, price rising, and of course positive delta building. So we know that those shorts are getting wrecked. We're now seeing more shorts actually open up here as well, which is kind of what we want to see, right? If we're seeing lots of shorts opening up coming into this naked point of control, that's actually a little bit more bullish in my opinion rather than bearish. Again, we'd be looking for those trap traders, of course, because it only becomes bearish once the traders become trapped. That's the only point. Bullish that's the only point at which it becomes bullish is when we of course form those trap traders. When it's when they're not trapped. Okay, it's okay, right. Price can continue in that direction. Again, that works both ways as well. But yeah, I think that is everything. I think that is everything. So yeah, I will leave that there, and we'll just remain patient and we'll wait for the levels and hopefully see those levels soon, and or one of those levels soon, and if the trade's there, we will take the trade, right? So that's kind of it for me. Where I'm at right now is I'd kind of be looking for price to actually come down here, in all honesty. The reason I say that is just because of how we see these things play out, right? It's range, it's low to high, low to high. We've actually come high again, so I'd kind of I'd be looking for this pullback here, in all honesty. So it's a case of, right, if that continues, we'll see we'll monitor what happens here. But it's when you've kind of got that feeling, it feels like it wants to go down here. And we'll see what occurs down there, of course, for that possible long trade. Again, like I said, it's looking like we're going to get absorption. It is looking like we're going to get absorption here. Let's just check again. it is looking like we're going to get absorption here. But yeah, you can never be 100%. So yeah, I will leave that there. Keep it nice and short today. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. And yeah, any Visionary members, I'll see you in the Discord. And yeah, any non-Visionary members, hopefully I will see you tomorrow for the next live stream. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. And yeah, I will see you later. Goodbye.
Take me home.